Hey everybody, Scabber Gaming here and welcome back to No Man's Sky. Now, today I'm not going to show you a new system like I did with the last one. Today I'm going to talk about the mods that I use. Now, one of the reasons why I bought this on the PC instead of the PlayStation 4 was mostly because of resolution and stuff like that. And unfortunately, a lot of those really good things were negated when the game came out because it was basically a console dump. Which, yes, was disappointing, but the good thing, the saviour of the game on the PC, is actually the mod support. Now, the game doesn't come with like workshop support for Steam or anything like that, but the community has made a bunch of really good mods. And I just want to go through like a few of the ones that I'm using at the moment. Now, I don't have any fuel. That's amazing. I do have fuel. It's lying. There we go. Right, let's try this again. I should have had 25%. There we go. Right. As you can see, I'm hovering. Now, the reason for that is because I have the low flying mod. Now, I added that quite recently because I really wanted to just see what it was like. And you know, it's pretty cool. I can crash into the floor and I can fly under the water, which is flipping mental. Woo, look at this. You do hit everything. I've also got like double speed, so I can fly particularly quick over the planet's surface. That just makes exploration more fun because it's more accessible and so forth, which I think is really, really good. So what else have I got? That's the low flying mod. The only thing that I found with the low flying mod is that you can't really land under the water, which seems a bit odd, but I think that's because of another mod that I'm using. Now, another mod that I'm using is called Bigger Things. Now, Bigger Things, see, it always says landing area not clear, and I think that's because of the water. You can't land underwater, which is fair enough. I think the limitation of the engine says, well, the game limitation is that, you know, it doesn't want you to land on the water's surface, which makes perfect sense, obviously. So it's not going to let you land underwater, but the ability to sort of fly underwater, fly through caves, you can go underneath structures like the big rooty loop things that you find on some planets. You can fly under those as well. It's really cool. I flew into a cave yesterday. That was pretty sweet. Let's see if I can. I think this cave is way too small, but you can fly all the way in and sort of get a peek of what's in there. That's not gonna help. Okay, let's get out of there. It just makes the flight a bit more free. You can do kind of whatever you want, really, rather than just being limited to that weird surface skimming that you get. Right, so this other mod that I'm using is called Bigger Things. Now, Bigger Things is basically designed for foliage and stuff like that. So let me land on a surface and I'll show you one of the things that it makes bigger. Because what you'll find is that when you actually land on any planet surface, everything is kind of very standardized. Everything's about... It's not going to let me land here either. Like I said, oh yeah, that's because I'm hovering over that. Okay, so landing. Look at these things over here. Now, anyone who's played No Man's Sky will know that these things are usually tiny. They're not tiny in this anymore. Look at this. It's massive. And that's a good thing because it gives you variation. Now, it doesn't make everything massive because that would be stupid. Like these little mushrooms down here, they've not been improved at all. It's this big, what looks like a huge mushroom. That's been massivized. Oh. Hello. These guys are an arsehole in this planet. So let me just get rid of him. There's another arsehole. I have a pretty epic gun at the moment, so I don't need to worry about them so much. So yeah, like big things, obviously, that just makes everything look a bit more realistic. You can land on a planet and you can get these massive trees, which are just wicked, and I love it. Another mod that I'm using, the white science ships. Now, science ships, in my mind, with like retro, like sci-fi and all that sort of thing, they were always just bright white, clean vessels. So someone made a mod that made all of the science ships bright white, and I think they look amazing. So I just added that. It's a very small mod. That's just something that I really wanted to add in. Right, let's grab this while we're here. I think I've already been here. Yeah, I've already been here. So we'll jump back in our ship. And I'll take you to a different planet. Here's another mod. Busier Skies. Now this mod basically just adds a bunch of ships that wouldn't normally be here. and I'll show you what that's like in conjunction with another mod. I've got a lot of mods. I will list them all in the description, but I just want to show you a bunch of them at first. Here we go. Right, so Busier Skies automatically adds a bunch of new fleet of vessels in space, and Immersive Space makes everything black again, which I know I was moaning about in the last video. I was like, I really want to see some black space would be really cool, and I've done that, and it looks amazing. It looks so much better. It looks so much better. So let's go to this other planet, and while we're going, I'll talk about all the mods that we got. Now, one thing you might have already noticed is that my onboard computer, that annoying woman that keeps going, units received, which is just the most annoying thing. I've shut her up. I've taken out everything except you're being attacked by sentinels and incoming storm, I think is the other one. And they're just basic warnings to make sure that you get the upper hand before it happens. White science ships, bigger creatures. So bigger creatures, yeah, I've added a mod that basically means you can have huge creatures, like in the E3 videos. So we can have these huge, massive, great dinosaurs like we should have. That's another great mod. Big things I've spoke about, that makes all of like the plants and weird rock formations and stuff much, much bigger, but randomizes them so you can have tiny ones as well. Busier Space, as you can say. As you saw before, we had like that fleet of 5 ships instead of the usual 3. In space you get much, much, much more like massive ships warping in. You can have like clusters of 10, loads of little fighters. Sometimes though, when you get attacked by pirates, you get an increased amount of those as well, but you can turn that off. Denser forests. Oh, this one is amazing. You can basically land on a planet and the whole thing can be covered in trees. You add in with big things as well, and those trees become huge or tiny, and that makes for some amazing stuff. Immersive Space makes everything black, so when you're on this on the planets as well at night time, the sky can be black, and that just makes the game so much more realistic. I mean, it's fine to have a coloured sky on a planet, but why is space always coloured? That doesn't make any sense. And when you're flying through the black areas of space, you can still see the nebula. You know, that doesn't change, so you can still see the blue clouds and the red clouds and stuff like that. Low flight we've looked at. Low flight basically allows me to fly close to the ground, through structures, hit the ground, have impact, fly underwater, fly into caves and stuff like that. We'll just carry on. Hopefully we'll hit the atmosphere before I get attacked. More colour palette combinations. Now that is oh, there's a base down here. We'll go to that. His ship is going to hit the ground though, so I have to be careful. Right, more colour palette combinations basically allows me to see more colours on the planet. So when you land on a planet, usually you get one colour. Everything's red or everything's yellow or everything's green, and that just kind of gets a bit annoying after a while. So more colour combinations allows me to sort of mix that up. So when you land on a planet with a load of green grass, the trees might all be red. Or when you land on a planet that's completely red, the grass might be green. Whereas usually the grass would be red as well, and that's very annoying. So let's have a look at this place. This brings me on to another mod that I've got installed, and that is called Mountains. Look at this. That is some seriously cool mountain landscape. And you don't get that in the normal game. The game is basically restricted between a minimum and a maximum height level, and it's very, very restrictive. Sometimes you might have like these single columns that go up to like max height, but they're really, really, really rare. Now, Mountains mod basically allows you to have plains and mountains. So that over there is a mountain that you would not normally get. That is beyond the normal restrictive height. And I think that's amazing. And in combination, all of these mods add up to a much, much more impressive looking game. I haven't done anything yet with inventory management. I haven't done anything with like actual gameplay elements as such. Everything is mostly visual, because the game itself should be visually entertaining, visually stunning, and it kind of fell short of that in most cases. So as you can see, this mountain over here, it might not be outside of the game's normal sort of height limitation, but it's the sort of thing that you can expect to see much more often instead of very rarely. The landscapes just look much more mountainous, more rugged, more entertaining, and that's kind of why we play these games, isn't it? It's more entertaining. Busier Skies also allows more traffic around the stations, and being able to hover. Why was this not in the game? Some places that you go to, you need to be able to hover. This place is pretty cool, actually. I still don't like the hovering stuff. Everything's always hovering. Right. Where have I know one of these planets has loads of forestry on. So let me take you to a forest planet and I'll show you what that's like, because that's amazing. Black space. Black space is so needed. Uh-oh. What am I on? Photon cannon. Let's change that over. Ouch. Man, these fights could be a bit intense. The Busier Space mod, Busier Skies and so forth. It's not ideal if you don't want to get blown up by pirates. Right, don't really need to... Right, okay. Shields back up. It's right, once you whittle them down a little bit, you take less damage and then you can survive longer, but in that first minute, you get 5 come out of hyperspace. Oh man, I've got to do my shield again already. Wow, okay. I really need to take these guys down pretty quick now. If I lose my shield again, I'm basically out of it. Last one. He's a badass. I'll keep up with him. Whew. Those guys were nasty. Right, okay. Let's go to this one. This one has forests on. Which is why I want to take you here. Let me just get my shield sorted out again. Feel that. Feel that. Right, refuel this as well. All of the refueling. Here we go! So this is the forested planet that I wanted to show you. Show you one of the cool things that comes with it. Bam! Straight into the ground. Like an absolute pro. God, I need to get a bit of height. Okay, so there you go, look at this. This is denser forests. Now, coupled with big things. I'm trying to remember the name of all the mods. This is actually making for a really, really cool immersive sort of forestry experience, which I think is really sweet. I love that the community has enabled this sort of mod. This is quite a hostile landscape, I think, so I'm not sure how much of this I can show you without jumping back in my ship. But look at this. You can't see this without mods. It's as simple as that. This is insane. Let's get some of this, because I've used up an awful lot in that fight. Hey buddies. Any of you hostile? Oh, you're undiscovered. Let's grab you. It's a grazing creature, so that's nice. Alright, pighead. Let's have a look in this forest. You can actually land on top of the forest, which is a bit annoying. It's one of those things you've got to be aware of when you use mods. Some things are a bit odd. with this extreme temperature. I'm just going to have to sort of show you and then get back out. How cool is that though? This place is mental. We have these massive trees you don't normally get, and we have these really dense forests. And this is exactly what it should have been like. This is what they showed at E3, isn't it? At the end of the day. This is what we should have been seeing on day one. It's so dense though. Sometimes you can't get through. And I think that's cool. Some areas are actually off limits because of these huge, dense, immense forests. You can of course blow the trees away if you really want to. I'm going to have to start making a move back to my ship. Extreme temperature at minus 94 degrees C. That's insane. Amazing. See, I'm totally loving this game compared to, like, day one was amazing, obviously, because there's some pretty cool stuff to see. Let's go in the cave. Maybe that'll... No, it's still mad cold in here. I've got to get in the ship. That's amazing. I'm pretty sure I haven't discovered that guy. No, I have discovered all these guys. You're all discovered. Right. Okay. So let's dive back in. I'll take you for a quick fly over this crazy planet. This was the first planet that I came to in this system, and I couldn't believe the forests when I got here. I was like, wow. That is cool. And I love the way that it doesn't cover the entire landscape. It's just like you get these really cool, thick, dense forests on this planet that cover the mountains and the valleys, and then you get sparse areas where you don't have any trees. Just like a very realistic way of seeing the game. Let's get over here and have a look at this. Coupled with having full movement on your ship as well. That's pretty sweet. Let's save that. So yeah, I think that's all of the mods that I'm currently using. More palette, denser forests. Yeah, that's it. But man, how cool is that? The game is so much better with these mods. I mean, denser forest clearly has the biggest impact on the graphics settings of the game. What's that? Another one. Yeah, we're getting there. How many have we done for this planet? We must get pretty oh, we're 100% on this one already. I don't know why I'm looking for more animals. Just obviously different like genders and sort of subspecies of the same species. So anyway guys, I challenge you to find a place that looks this cool on the basic game. Mods on the PC are clearly the way to go. They're really easy to install. You simply just move a pack file from one directory into your main base game directory, and then that's it. And that it can't be any simpler than that. Some mods you need to make sure that you read the README file because they have some restrictive issues, like having to restart your save or something. Just stay away from those. There's not really any need to use them. You can make the game look like this without restarting your save or really affecting your gameplay, and that's what's important. It shouldn't affect your gameplay. Mods should be this cool and this easy. So guys, I hope you liked this look at some of the No Man's Sky mods that I'm using. I'm still exploring the mods and I'm gonna die of extreme cold, so if I find any more, I'll happily do another video just show you guys what other mods that I'm going to be using soon. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.